Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. Reality TV, church reviews. Let's talk happy love and marriage lifestyle. Come and talk with us. Come and share with us. Come and laugh with us. Come on and pray with us.
Regina Cole is a special guest. You should be following your lead. Bless. Subscribe on YouTube. Listen on podcasts. We live on IG and Facebook. This episode is sponsored by Truth and Triumph Ministries.
Welcome back to Money Monday. I'm Executive Pastor Tawana Grant, and we are so excited to have you with us today on the Juice Radio and Talk Show. We want to encourage you to go onto our YouTube. Make sure that you hit that bell to like and subscribe, and join us every Monday for your lunchtime learning. And so we're so excited. We have finished up one series again. So we are continuing to glean from the knowledge that we have available to us. But you know what I always say, knowledge is only powerful when you use it. And so we want to put it to use. And so we want to encourage you today as we go into a new series. We're going into a new series, Play to Win. How many know that some of the moves that we're making, they're not getting us to the point of winning? And so we want to encourage you today that whatever moves you are making, decisions that you're making and making moves to win. And so we want to play to win, offensive and defensive money moves. So again, you want to play from both parts. You don't want to be single-threaded. You don't want to have just your eyes blinded. You want to open up so that you can even find your blind spots. You can leverage your team and others who are around you who can help you. Make sure that you are evaluating information, that you're moving appropriately, that you're targeting forward. How many know that you'll never meet your target if you don't set one? You have to focus in on where you're going. And sometimes we're so limited by what we're trying to do in the now that we're not thinking about everything we're doing now is taking us toward our future. So if you're not doing what you need to do now, your future is further delayed. Your future is further delayed. Your advancement is further delayed. Where you're trying to go to is further delayed. And so you have to be engaging today. What you do today is going to impact what happens to you tomorrow. And so again, we're going into our new series, Play to Win. There's a game. When I went into an executive cohort and we were learning about how to strategize, how to operate from different capacities, how to navigate different organizations and different people, one of the things he said is that you've got to learn how to play the game. You've got to understand what are the rules, what are the policies, what are the clarification steps that you need to make in order to advance. And so we want to encourage you today that there is a strategy. And that's why you see I use it all the time as part of the titling, strategic moves, meaning I'm setting myself up to progress forward. So what I'm doing, I'm not doing it half-missed, right? I'm not doing it on a whim. I'm doing it this way because I've strategized to go somewhere. I have a plan. And so we want to welcome all of you back with us, Smiling with Aaron. Hey, Aaron, thank you for joining us. Robert Jennings and others who are coming on in. We are encouraging you today that you take availability of the information that's being shared and you put it to good use, because we want you to play on the offensive as well as the defensive. And I know you're going to tell me, Pastor Grant, that's a lot to do. It is. But when you are operating in purpose, you're even planning to win or planning to fail. Know this, your lack of planning has already set you up for the things to be delayed or hindered or stopped or prevented. So we want you to make sure that you're operating from the capacity that I am setting my mind so that I can play both offensive and defensive to make my money moves. And so today we want to talk about getting your new economic playbook. Listen, this can be a playbook for you. Most of the things that we're talking about, they are strategies that have been proven. And what you have to do is curtail them to your field, your industry, your lane, your ministry, what works best with the area that you're working with. But there are some foundational proofs that work well in any industry. And so we want to talk about today, what is our current landscape, right? We have a lot that's still going on in our corporations, in our economic client, across even our worldwide strategies in the economy. And so what are our inflation trends right now? The U.S. inflation rate has increased to 2.4% as of March 2025. It is still the lowest since September 2024, indicating a potential stabilization in consumer prices. So again, things are rising, but remember, it has been worse and we survived. I want to help curb some of this anxiety and curb some of this trepidation that we have, because we have been in worse states than this and we survived and thrived. So you have to set your mind up for the journey. That's what you do as a visionary. As a leader who stands out front, you have to set your mind so that you can operate from a capacity of confidence and others can believe in you too. So yes, inflation is rising, but it is not the worst that we've ever had. And so even as things happen, we're maneuvering, we're pivoting, we're navigating so that we can mitigate and limit impacts to our businesses and to our ministries. Inflation rates, right? The Federal Reserve has maintained the federal fund rate at 4.25 to 4.5, with expectations of a potential rate cut later this year due to the economic uncertainty. So again, even our government is trying to help balance us out, make sure that there's not a significant influx in the slowdown of our economy. On the labor market, the economy added 228,000 jobs in March, right? Surpassing expectations. I want to hone in on these facts because sometimes we can be flawed in our thinking. How many know that? Sometimes when we listen to the voices of others, we can be flawed in our thinking based on their anxiety and their concern and their trepidation. It can lead us to be feeling that way. But when you get the facts, it gives you a clearer picture so that you can make the decisions that you need to from a posture of understanding and clarity. So again, 228,000 jobs were added in March, surpassing the expectations, while the unemployment rate did edge up to 4.2. So again, not the worst we've experienced, suggesting a resilient yet cautious labor market. It is resilient. How many know that we are building resilient leaders, resilient business owners and ministry leaders, so that regardless of whatever state we find ourselves in, we can be contented. We can move forward. We don't become halted or stagnant in what we're doing. We can continue to push our mission and visions forward. The labor market, again, has added jobs. Recession risk analysis, including JP Morgan, have raised the possibility of a U.S. recession to 60%, citing escalating trade tensions and market volatility. So there's a higher probability is moved up to 60%. But remember, again, we've been through recession before and we came out on the other side. So we want to make sure that we are working from the offense as well as the defense so that we can be ready to address what's happening within our own business, within our own family. Even as a family, you're leading your family financially. You need to be prepared to reduce in other areas and then be strategic about where you want to spend. We recognize that spending is a necessity. There are some things that are necessity. People are going to buy irregardless of what the market is saying. And so people may give away to luxury, residual things, but there's some things that are just necessary. And that's why as a business leader, as a ministry leader, you have to think from that capacity that spending will continue. Now I need to be strategic about what I'm spending my money on. All right. And so first we want to talk about building your financial resilience. How do I build financial resilience? Cash reserves. Let's be honest. We spend money. A lot of times it is not necessary. And so when we're building cash reserves, we have to remember we want to maintain some cash. Some of us may not be to the degree where we can afford to save up to 3 to 6 months immediately. But how many know if you put a little bit on it, if you add some every day, if you add a little bit every month, you will come to find out that it adds up. Listen, I remember my husband was stating his mother was on disability all her life. But even on disability, she learned money management so that she was able to pay off her house on disability. She was able to pay off her house on limited funds because she was strategic in how she spent, and she was strategic in how she also gleaned. And she was able to make a lot out of a little bit. And so that's why I want to encourage you. Sometimes we feel like because we can't do a lot, we don't do nothing. Oh no, we have to change that framework. We have to change that thinking. We have to change the way that we see the world. We have to change our perception. You can do something with what you have. Yes, you can. And it can be much. God can take you a little bit and stretch it to much when we are strategic and we're doing the right things with it. So we want to encourage you that you can maintain an amount of cash reserves for your operating expenses as a cushion against our economic potential downturn. And so where you may have operations that are occurring, there's expenditure that you have to have. There are some things that we all know. I've looked through this year. I've made some strategic moves. I've gone where I have changed some of my vendors. I've changed who I use as partners. I've leveraged discounted pricing. Some things we'll continue to do because it's easier. It takes effort to go back and re-certify or redo contracts or renegotiate or re-have conversations. But if it's going to pay out for your good, if you're going to get a return, it is worth your time. And so you need to settle yourself in the fact that there's an opportunity waiting for you. And so you just need to be aware of it and then act on it. So again, we want to establish cash reserves. We can do it. Listen, when you look at a drip of water, let's use that analogy. A drip of water seems very minute, very minimal, but a drip of water on a piece of steel over time brings about rust. It brings about a change. And so if you understand that even in your capacity, whatever you're doing, if you put aside a little bit, over time, it adds up to be much. Over time, it adds up to be something you can do something great with. And so listen, don't despise small beginnings. Don't despise starting with just a little bit set aside, because I have mentored people when they only had a little bit and they were putting it away for savings. And guess what? When the car broke down, they were able to pull from that what we considered then little savings. But how many know that little savings got them across? That little savings met the need. That savings that they had set aside got them to their next without having to have a significant delay. And so that's why we want to encourage you today. Cash reserves helps you in the future. What do you do today? And so we want to remind you of that. So point number 2 is optimize your expenses. So again, conduct a thorough review. That's what I did. First part I did here, I set my mind to it. I told the Lord, I'm going in this year. Yes, in some aspects, you might can't afford it. Yes, sometimes you might can continue it, but when you know our economic climate and some of the things that are changing, it is in your best interest. That's what we said, working on the defense and the offense. Some things you do for a defense, but some things you want to get ahead of it. I want to get ahead of what might be happening. And so you want to review where you have expenses that are unnecessary, things that we're spending on that we can do less of. I'm not saying don't take yourself out to eat. I'm saying maybe you don't need to eat out every day. Maybe you don't need to go out every Sunday. Or maybe there's some ways that you can cut back, right? And there's some things that you can do. Maybe you don't need to make a purchase every week. Maybe it's something you just do once a month. And so there's always a way that you can establish some boundaries that will help you be on the offense. I'm going to not spend this. Now listen, I want to tell you, don't cut out one expense and then go do something else that's a luxury. You want to cut out the luxuries in a way so that it is efficient, and then you can procure it to your savings or pay down some bills or set it aside for another. We're going to talk about it later. Open up another channel, another stream of income, put it in something that's going to give you a huge return on investment. You don't want to just stop doing it and don't do anything with it. You want to make sure that it has purpose. How many know that? Your money is a seed. We're talking about Money Monday. Your money is just why you have a plan. When you have a budget, it tells your money what to do. Yes, it does. It gives an instruction about how I want it to promote this area, how I want it to lift up this area. So what do you do when you have that budget and you're having your cash reserves? You're getting yourself ready for when opportunity comes along. What do they say? Success is when preparation meets opportunity. And so being on the offense means I'm getting myself ready for what might be coming down the pipeline, so that when it comes, I'm ready to move. I'm not having to get ready. I'm already ready. So again, optimizing your expenses, going back through, identifying expenses and eliminating non-essential costs. Things that we're doing that are not adding us value. I've done it this year. I'm continuing. Can I say that? Let me just hone in on that. I am continuing to look at it. Where is it that I'm spending money or I'm paying for things that I'm not even using? How many of us can say that? You can go through and look through your expenses and see where there's opportunity to save. The next is to diversify your streams of income. We talked about that before. Put ourselves in such a position so that we're not counting on one thing. We want to avoid over-reliance on our expenses over-reliance on a single income, rather, by exploring additional revenue channels. What other channels do we have? What ways? Can you think about Betty Crocker, the lady who everybody knows, who decided to make cookies and made $1 billion business? What is it in your hand? In scripture, what's in your hand? What do you know how to do? What do you have available to you that can be a blessing to you, that can open up the door? The Bible says your gift will make room for you. What is it that you know how to do that others would want to leverage your capacity and pay you for it? What is it? Some of us, I was talking to one of my sisters about just cleaning out closet. And she said, I'm going to take all these beautiful things to the consignment because therefore I can take what I'm not using and let it work for me. I want to encourage you today that there's something you got. There's a gifting that you have. There's an ability that you have. There's something, like the man of God said, how many pots you got in your home? God is trying to bless us and fill up all our pots. We just got to bring them. And so bring out all of those giftings, equipments that you have. I've known others who have gone through and just gotten rid of all those equipments that they have that they were not using, and they brought in additional funds that they could use something else for. And I'm just trying to tell you, this is strategy. This is money moves. This is how you build something from what you already have as you operate, getting some new things as well. And so another strength that you can have from the offensive and defensive is strengthen credit management. How do you strengthen that? How do you strengthen it? So monitor your credit utilization. Monitor it so that you building up healthy credit, that your credit score starts to improve. And so when you do that, it helps you because when you go to get financing, you can get a better interest rate. It helps you because when you go to open up doors, you're already ready and then you can get the best deal. And so you can strengthen on the offense by getting ready with your credit stability. And so many of us, we've had to work through opportunities in our credit or opportunities in our business credit. But when we get our mindset, when we have a framework about how money works, that's why we do Money Monday. When we understand how credit works, we start to leverage it as a tool. I'll never forget. This was many years ago. We went in, first married. My husband was like, I'm going to buy you a car. And he went in, he said, don't worry, pick out what you want. And then the gentleman came over, oh, let's see what you got. He said, trust me, they're going to tell you, don't let him leave. And he was right. When you manage your credit at such a situation or in such a posture that you know what you can command and can demand, that puts you in the offense. So that when you go into organizations where you're trying to get deals, where you're trying to open doors, you know what to ask for. A lot of times we're on the defense. We're letting them have all the answers, all the decisions, all the wheels. We're led by their wheels, but we're trying to say when we operate from the offensive, no, we can make the demands. We can decide if something is good for us or not. Listen, you don't want to be in a posture with your organization where you never have the right to say no. Lord have mercy. I can't help but tell it. I operate with so many people that have gotten ourselves in situations where I felt like I had to say yes because I didn't have any other options. When you operate from the offense, you recognize that I have postured myself in such a way that I got plenty of options. You don't have to choose everything that is brought to you when it doesn't fit your purpose and mission. Why? Because you understand your strategy. When you have a strategy, you can hold to it and you can say, this must not be for me because this doesn't align to my benefit. This doesn't prompt me to move forward. This doesn't profit me to go forward. And so you can stand in the posture, again, of offense and defense by getting and strengthening your credit management. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is how do you do on the offensive strategies? Capitalizing on your opportunities. This is the thing. You've got to capitalize on what's available. When we see opportunities that are coming, as we read and as we evaluate and as we analyze our economic climate, what is happening, we've got to be on the offense to take advantage of it. When things are moving, you've got to move with the flow. You've got to navigate. So one of the things, invest in innovation. Allocate resources towards research and development to stay ahead of market trends. So in whatever you're doing, how can I posture myself on the offense so that I can take advantage of the innovations that are available? We talked about it before, using tools. Oh my goodness, we're using tools a lot now, even in our ministry, even in our business, GP Chat and others that help us through automation to do things smarter, not harder. This is what we're talking about. Use innovation to help you promote your business, help you with your marketing, help you to move forward in the things that you've already decided you're going to do this year. Sometimes we're slow to get started because we feel like we have to do all the heavy lifting. But if you recognize how valuable innovation and automation is to you, know this: with the human intelligence, artificial intelligence can give us a huge return. When we take our human intelligence, it can't operate without us. When we take our human intelligence and we leverage it and we collaborate and we thread it with artificial intelligence, we gain a huge ROI, return on investment. And so we have to do that collaboration of innovation. Don't be afraid. The good thing I like about it is if you put a question in, or you're looking for information, or you're trying to dialogue, or you're trying to get some content, if it doesn't fit, you go back in and you put all back in some new criteria, and you keep refining it until it fits what your purpose and mission is, until it fits you. Use innovation as an offensive strategy. If you're looking to go market your business, if you're looking to go market your skills, if you're looking to go market your tools and your products, use innovation to help you present it well. The next is expand your market reach. How many know that? Explore new markets. A lot of times we're still dwelling with the people we've been dwelling with forever. Now is the time for you to expand your reach. Now is the time for you to talk to some people that you've never had an opportunity to talk to before. Don't be afraid of their faces. Some of us, we are called and chosen to operate in spaces that are unfamiliar. Oh my God, I feel like I'm preaching to myself today. Sometimes we are called and chosen to operate in spaces that are unfamiliar, but it doesn't mean that you don't have the ability to do it. It might be unfamiliar, oh my God, but you're coming with the toolbox with everything you need to be successful. Listen, our lives can be full of things we haven't done before. My life is full of things I've never done before. I haven't done it until I do. I love what Nelson Mandela, one of his quotes that says, it always looks impossible until it's done. And so that's the kind of framework we have to have in our mental stability and our resilience, that we can stretch out and reach into new markets, stretch out and reach and discuss with new people, stretch out and reach into places that we've seen others do. We can do it too. It may cost you a little bit more effort, but all the effort would be well worth it. There's a huge payoff in doing things that people haven't done before. Oh my God. Some of us are called to be front runners. Some of us are called to be visionary leaders. Some of us are called to be the person that starts it first. And so in your calling, you will be equipped. Can I say that again? In your calling, you will be equipped for the mission. And so don't think it's strange. God is going to give you the dexterity that you need to be able to be resilient in places that are unfamiliar. Going to new lands that you haven't walked on before. But he says he's going to give you the power and authority to possess the land. And so even when you walk into something that you haven't done before, all the experience that you have, all the tutoring that you have, all the training that you have, all the experience that you have is transferable. It will take you into the new land. It will help you in the new places. It will help you in the new spaces. I want to encourage you today to expand. Enlarge your tent. Enlarge your territory because you have been equipped to win. Yes, Lord. We are talking about how do we operate in such a capacity that we play to win. Yes, we are. And so the next thing is to leverage technology. We've talked about that. You want to make sure that you are leveraging technology in a way that's going to profit you. Approve and adopt new technology, improve it, gain efficiency, adapt to it. Sometimes we're knowledgeable, but we're not proficient. Sometimes we know about things. I teach financial literacy, right? Not just on Money Mondays, but on other forums and other capacities. And what we want to move from financial literacy, knowing about it, to financial proficiency, being able to take what we know and put it to use. Financial proficiency. How do I take all of the information that is needed for me? Because everything is not needed for you at this time. I've learned that. Just because information is given, still take your notes, still take the information, because there's going to be a time when you'll need that. You'll need that information and it'll come back to your remembrance. And so there are times and spaces when that particular information, oh my God, it might lay dormant, but it's necessary for such a time that will arrive. I want to encourage you, leverage your technology, become efficient in it. Engage in customer engagement. This is the quickest way to get a quick win. Play to win on the offense and the defense. So as an offensive move, use technology to be your hands. Use technology to be your mouth. Where you can't, as one person, reach 100 people every day, you can through technology. How many know that? How many know you can reach 1,000, millions of people in a day by technology? So leverage it. The other thing is look for strategic partnerships. How can I align myself with others so that we strengthen our work? How do we come together? There's that old saying that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And so how is it can I go? Sometimes you might think your competition is your enemy, but not in all situations. Sometimes your competitor can help you. Sometimes when you enable a conversation or a partnership, there's a way that you can devise that you both win. Sometimes there's enough diversity and there's enough client base that you both can win. Listen, there's no competition. You're trying to operate in such a lane, and that's what we've been teaching. You want to make yourself set aside to be such an individual type of business that you have earmarks that are only you. Nobody can compete with what's just you. And so when you come and show up being you, operating with your product or services, and you're doing so in a level of excellence, you set yourself apart from the norm. And so this is going to be a great way for you to strategize with others, because you can share resources, you can share ideas, you can share opportunities. Many times I've had people that come in some of the businesses that we own in some of the lanes, and I'll say, listen, that's not really what I'm doing right now, but let me point you to someone else. I don't lose a client by sending them to someone who can help them at that time. They will appreciate it. And I said, but remember me if you have something that more closely aligns to what I do. And that's how you have that helping hand to extend them to someone else who can help them, that can be a blessing to their business, but let them know, here's what I do. And here's what I do well. I'm here for you if that's what you want to do. And so you are creating more reach in that way versus saying, I don't do that, and then don't help them find somebody that does. So we want to make sure that we don't limit ourselves by closing off. We want to open up and know that there's room enough for everybody. There's room enough for everyone. And so when you are operating from that capacity, they appreciate you. I've had people who have called me back before, even though they didn't work directly with me, because of the spirit of excellence in which I work with them. They said, listen, the last time I talked to you, I was working on this, and I want to know, do you do this, or do you know anybody? That's still an opportunity that you can leverage in the future, because you have set yourself up as a voice of support. Now, all right, as we close out today, I think this has been great. As we close out today, we want to thrive in this week. So here's some of your thriving tasks for this week. We want to win. We want to play to win. Review your financial statements, assess your cash flow, look at your expenses and revenue streams. And listen, you don't have to do them all. Pick one. This is what I talk about, the iterative progress. Pick one. One step forward is toward advancement. And every time you take another step, you're getting closer to your goal. One step forward is advancement. Keep going toward your goal. Keep going. Play to win. So you want to make sure that you're setting financial goals, make them clear, concise. What do we say about SMART goals? Specific, measurable, achievable, relatable, and time box. So make them short and long-term goals. Make them in such a capacity that you'll be able to do them. So you don't want to make them so out of the park that you almost set yourself up not to even get started. Don't you know in the human mind, the mind almost sets ourselves up not to do it because it exerts a lot of effort and the potential to fail stops us from getting started. So that's why we say do short-term goals, short-term wins. This is what I do this week, one thing this week. And if I do that one thing this week, it's going to get me forward. And the last thing is continue to work on your strategic plan. We've been doing that all week long. So we want to encourage you again. This is Money Monday on the Juice Radio Talk Show for your lunchtime learning. Go ahead again and subscribe. Watch our episodes as we continue in our very new series, Play to Win Offensive and Defensive Money Moves. So we want to encourage you also to get engaged. Thank you for all of those who have joined us on today. I see Pastor Henry is out there today. Again, we thank you, Brother Jennings, Aaron. Thank you so much. We want to appreciate you for joining us on today. And having the Lady Virgo, thank you for joining. Pastor Lorenzo, thank you for joining. We appreciate all of you best way possible. All right. Thank you for joining. We just want to say thank you. Continue to collaborate with us in our chat and make sure that you send any feedback. We appreciate the opportunity to share financial information and wisdom with you on today. Peace and blessings. Enjoy the week.